What goes on, guys? We're back here again with yet another review, and today we're going to be taking a look at the brand new McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse McFarlane Collector Edition. Ooh, Green Lantern Alan Scott. Yes, this is the new Alan Scott. I mean, I think we all knew that this was coming once we got that Dread Lantern or whatever the hell it was called. Love seeing the Alex Ross artwork. He is by far my favorite comic book artist. And unlike the other figures from McFarlane's DC Multiverse line, considering this is the collector edition, which I will be talking about as the video continues on, my thoughts on it and all that stuff, you can see that it is silver instead of white, which I guess it's nice that they're upping the packaging a little bit. Here's a barcode if you're looking for it. I believe these are like common, I guess, like they're going to be everywhere. They're not store exclusives. I picked mine up at GameStop. I noticed GameStop was getting them first. I wouldn't mind getting the what's the other guy's name? I forget, the other Batman villain. I wouldn't mind getting him, but not something I'm super crazy about getting. This was the one I wanted the most. So without further ado, enough of me rambling, let's go ahead and pop this guy open. So getting Alan Scott out of the packaging, I gotta say, he's pretty cool. I'm pretty happy with this figure. I really like this new body mold. Hopefully they do use this for things down the line. I think that it moves good. I think once you replace the lower legs and maybe, you know, change the upper torso so that there's not these big peg holes in it, I think it looks pretty good. Please excuse my cat. But yeah, I really like the way that this looks. I like its proportions. And there's a lot to like here, but I do have some complaints as well. And, you know, that's just par for the course with McFarlane. You really love some things, and then you really dislike some things. And it's just, you know, what are you going to do? But taking a look at the head sculpt here, I really like this Alan Scott head sculpt. I think it looks great. I love the way they painted the hair. Very, very good with the way they did the dry brush and all that good stuff. I think the mask is very good, and then you do get the green painted on the inside of the purple cape, which is nice. I think it's molded in purple and painted green, which I think was kind of a weird choice, because when you want to mold it in the lighter color and then you know, paint it the darker color, I always found that that's easier. But you do get to see his chest emblem here with just the picture of the lantern, and I always thought that was a weird design choice. It's not McFarlane. It's, you know, just DC, I guess. But, you know, what are you going to do? I think it's kind of funny. He's kind of got that sweater look. Kind of always been his thing. And then you do get his weird looking lantern ring, which is accurate. He has like a different one, and you'll see that once we see his actual lantern. You get the belt buckle punched in color wise, and then you do get his Christmassy outfit looking great. Such a weird color combo: yellow, red, green, and then purple. I always thought that this was such a crazy design for Green Lantern, especially going from this then to the Hal Jordan design. It's like so crazy to me. Now all we need is, oh, well, hello. See you, buddy. Now all we need is Guy Gardner, which I have heard he's in the rumor mill, so I'm very happy about that. Now here's where the collector edition additives come in for this figure. Starting off, you do get this effect, which is kind of just a swirly green flame effect that you can pop onto his hand. I think that that looks really, really good. I like the way that that is done, and as you can see with the lights behind it, it absorbs the light very well. I think that that's really cool. As mentioned, he does come with his lantern, which looks more like a fire hydrant to me, but it is accurate. You know, it is what it's supposed to be. And he can hold that, and that also absorbs light. Now, this cat, it is interesting to me that they decided to give him both the lantern and the flame, which I think is cool, but I don't know how I feel about the flame. It's not really what I think of, but then again, Alan Scott kind of was a very different Green Lantern. Finally, for the amazing collector edition, and obviously I'm saying this pretty sarcastically, you get the card and the card stand, and then the regular figure stand, but this time instead of black, it's silver for the DC logo. Ooh, I think this is complete bubkiss. I am not a fan of this at all. You're not going to charge $10 more for this. Really? Like, everything else just seems pretty standard for McFarlane. There's not an absurd amount of paint. The sculpt is what it usually is. It's not pinless or anything like that. But you're charging us $10 more. I think it's bogus. The card can come out. You get a read up on the back. But this time, again, it's in silver. So if that's something you want to see, that's awesome. And if you like this kind of stuff... Oh my god, this cat. If you like this kind of stuff, good for you. That's awesome. I'm happy that you're finding something that you enjoy. But for me, I think it's complete and utter bogus to charge $10 more for a figure stand that I personally am never going to use. But let me know what you guys think about it. I just think that it's kind of BS. What I will say, though, is that the articulation is pretty damn awesome on this. So just looking up at the head, he can look up very far. I really like the way that that looks. He can look down, pivot side to side, and of course he gets full rotation. Shoulders are big and beefy, and he looks muscular. I love the proportions on this body buck. The shoulders go out, they go down, they rotate. You get that little bit of like the peg in there. Bicep swivel, double jointed elbows, and then the wrist swivel and hinge all around. They're on the ball hinges. Then he can crunch forward pretty good for McFarlane. People are always like, oh, for McFarlane. Hasbro doesn't do much better a lot of the time, okay? He can arc back, of course, because he likes that more. Swivel at the top and at the bottom, and then you do get good pivots, so you can definitely get him in those lantern-y poses. He gets the full splits. He goes down. He'll kick forward, back. No thigh swivel at all. Come on, McFarlane. Stop going back and forth. Then you get the double jointed knees, which again I think should have been pinless for a collector line. Ankle will swivel, go down, up, pivot, and a toey hinge. So I think that he moves wonderfully for the most part for McFarlane again. But I think he looks great and he moves good doing it. In terms of scaling, we have him next to the NECA King Kong and the Jazzwares Fortnite series Peely. Here he is with the McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse Dark Knight Returns Batman and the Hasbro Marvel Legends X-Men's Darwin, which obviously he's going to be too big for Darwin, as Darwin is part of a 6-inch line, and he's going to look good with Batman because Batman's part of the same line. And then finally, of course, here he is next to the Hasbro Marvel Legends Zombie Captain America. So some of you are probably out there wondering, yo, Amp, what are your final thoughts on this figure? And I gotta say, I have very mixed emotions. For starters, this was never my favorite design for Green Lantern, so inherently I was like, okay, he's pivotal, and I really do want him to complete my JSA line. I would love to get like a classic Dr. Fate and Hawkgirl. We're getting Hawkman, but it's one step closer to completing that team, right? I did a custom Wildcat a while ago, so I love that team. So we're one step closer to that. And in that regard, that's awesome, right? That's why I picked him up. But considering, his design and considering his weaknesses wood, yeah, look that up. That's a real thing. I really can't expect much more in that regard. McFarlane really did amplify and recreate, I guess is the better word, this character the best they could. What bothers me is the fact that we are getting charged $10 more for stuff that I don't care about. I don't care about the figure card stand. I don't care about this figure stand. I don't care about the card. I think that this could have been $20 with the flame and the lantern. I really don't, because the lantern doesn't have an actual hinge thing to it. It's just a molded piece of plastic. There's still pins. There's no more paint than there normally would be. I just don't see what the collector edition aspect of this figure is. And maybe I'm missing something, and if I am, please feel free to yell at me for it in the comments. But at a price point of $30, I can't go more than a 7 out of 10. There's nothing here that warrants it being $30. But that being said, I do really like it for what it is. So that all being said, I believe that's all I got for today. So if you have not already, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Also be sure to follow me on Instagram and TikTok and Letterboxd. I post a lot over there, and I have a lot of fun, and I'm sure you all will too. But as always, let me know. You coppin'? See you guys in the next one. Peace. Welcome along, guys. I wanted to hop on here again and thank you all for watching, and to let you know that if the following apps interest you, feel free to follow me on them, as I put the links in the description for you guys. I really appreciate everything you all do for me, so DM me with any questions or thoughts. I'd love to sit and talk with you all. Again, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.